Attention. Welcome to the Different Spectrums podcast. We dive into the wild world of mental health discussions. Get ready for profound talks, a sprinkle of humor and sarcasm, and a touch of colorful language. Just a quick heads up, our show reflects our individual opinions, which may not align with the standpoint of the podcast, our featured guests, or any related corporate entities. Our mission? To illuminate through laughter and satire because everyone needs a good chuckle. Chill out and don't stress over the small stuff. Legal troubles? No, thank you. Cancel culture? Please spare us. We'd rather keep this space lawsuit free. So buckle up, have a good time, and join us as we navigate the vibrant realm of mental health on the Different Spectrums podcast. Today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. By using our link, you can get 10% off your first month of therapy. So, Naz, as a therapist on BetterHelp, what has your experience been like?
I've been doing it since January of 2021, and it's been really fun and exciting. I've been able to reach clients all over the United States and the world. I've had good relationships. I've had folks that I've had for a couple months and a good handful where I've had for almost 2 years now. So it's magnificent. I've enjoyed my time and my clients. I love them.
Awesome. You can do it all from your phone or computer via phone call, video chat, or messaging, however you feel the most comfortable. Let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist who can support you all from the comfort of your own home. Visit betterhelp.com/DSP or choose Different Spectrums podcast during sign up and enjoy a special discount on your first month. Hey everybody, we back again.
Hey, we're back. We're live.
That was very cheerful, that one.
I
A
feel
lot of
good.
energy.
Feel good. I'm a little depressed, but I feel good.
We are feeling good earlier, but we'll get into that. I'm Spencer, and of course we have our licensed clinical therapist, Nas.
Hello.
Why'd you put your hand up like that? That was so weird. The way you put your hand up, you're just like,
Jared
oh,
off.
wow.
Jared off.
Like an alien trying to wave, just like you start shaking your body and not your hand. You're like,
I shook someone's hand the other day, and then one of my other friends, coworkers, was like, "Why the fuck you shake his hand?" I was like, "I'm not getting into this. Leave me alone." Hello, everyone. Dr. Nas.
you're very picky and choosy with your handshakes. Remember, don't take us too seriously.
Or do. It's completely up to you.
There you go. Also, don't forget to run up those likes for us. We'd really appreciate it. So, shout out to Cat and Raven Soap Company, the best soap company around.
Yeah. Gotta love that gay soap.
Okay, so
It's so
awkward,
gay,
but
it's the gayest.
goodbye, jobs. Goodbye, future jobs. Thank you for almost hiring me, looking at me, and then seeing this episode. Appreciate that. Shout out to them. Go to our link tree down below in the description
Yeah.
to get your discount off of Cat and Raven Soap Company. They actually do have some really cool soaps.
Yeah.
They actually just had one that was for, I want to say they had like they had all these different type of themes
Always.
soaps, right? Come out with all different types. But they're fantastic. Go check them out. They're a small company.
Yep.
So go support them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Awesome. Sponsorship done. All right. So today we're doing the movie Next Goal Wins, featuring the director, actor, writer, producer, Taika. I'm not even going to try his last name because I forgot how to pronounce it, but we're going to go with that. And of course, the great Michael Fassbender. The great.
Yes. The
That
extremely
is what.
attractive Michael Fassbender.
Yes, yes. The good-looking Magneto.
Magneto. God. Good Lord.
That
Lordy
helmet.
Lord.
Oh,
I needs a healing. I needs a healing. Okay, I'm done.
Uh, so if you haven't seen this movie, I would highly recommend it. Just off the bat, it's actually very good. I watched it with my mom. She was laughing, I was laughing, and they had some really good tender moments as
Yeah.
well. So please go check it out. It's on Hulu, just so you know.
Yep.
So a couple things we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about transgendered people. That's a topic for today,
Yep.
as well as their just how they really initiate and have people that are trans in this show, and just kind of showing how America Samoa is a little bit ahead of their time, I think, in a lot of
Definitely.
other places. So, yes. And then we're also going to be talking about positivity as well as negativity. Yes, yes, positive and negative.
Yin and yang. Peanut butter jelly.
Sign opposites.
Milk,
Are
milk,
they?
milk cereal. Black people, white people, opposites. Separate but equal. Sorry.
Anyway, we're gonna talk about a lot of great topics today. Naz, anything before we get to the show?
Well, say goodbye to our jobs there.
Our jobs?
Yeah,
I
I
didn't say
didn't, I
shit.
didn't say anything.
I didn't condone it.
I'm in a blood pressure thing right now. I'm dissociated. I don't even know what's
I'm
going
in a
on.
blood pressure
Yeah,
thing.
I got the sugars. Something's going on. I'm dissociated. I'm full ridiculous. There's actually a lot of really good topics in here. We are going to talk about some trans-related issues, being on testosterone, what they can do to the body, the mind, and just the things that you have to deal with being on a team. Everyone's counting on you. So just besides the trans points, but it could be even more magnified because everyone looks up to you. We're going to talk about being progressive, right? As a state, technically, but I feel like it's a nation, but a state, a territory.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of good stuff in when we're talking about trauma and the coach and how he deals with it, or at least how the movie portrays that he deals with it. Specifically, the loss of his daughter. There's wonderful topics and mindfulness. To be here, to be now, to be in the moment. Not in the past, not in the future, but now, the present. It's the only thing that you have control of. And I think there's some wonderful moments in there. A moment where I cried because I just felt so deeply about lose with us. It just really stuck out to me. I love this movie, and then we'll kick it off. It's fun. I feel like people just don't understand. It's good to have just fun movies. It can just be fun.
Yeah.
And people hated on him because of the what's that movie where they messed up?
Thor.
Love and Thunder. He messes up Thor, and he went too goofy, and this was good.
Man. There's a time and a place.
This
was the time and the place. This movie
100%
is the time and place, right? Yeah. A lot of good humor, showing off just all the different actors are, American Samoan. It's it's a really good time, you said, for this movie. And it's one of those movies you just pop in if you just want to laugh.
Just chill. Chill. The biggest thing to me is why I loved it so much, and I knew it almost immediately, is they all look like me. They're all big brown folks, big brown dudes.
Yes.
And it reminded me when I went to Alaska and everyone looked like me, and I was like, this is weird. And then Colin's like, dude, they all look like you. They're all saying hi to me. They all think I'm a native myself. And I think it's the only time I ever felt good about my body, about my color, about my size, was in Alaska. So this movie was magnificent for me to just see a bunch of very soft-spoken, large men.
Yeah.
And just so kind and loving. It was the opposite of everything that we paint brown large men in the world. We paint them as monsters, villains, hyper masculine, toxic, scary, gangbangers. It's always a gangbanger or a drug dealer. Shit dads. And then in here, they're just the kindest people. And it just makes me, I don't know, this movie just makes me want to love it. So I'm excited to talk about that. Let's get into the show. Let's have some fun. And I got a couple stories about therapy, as my dad says, therapy, and gay soap. So, whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop. Just ended on that, huh? Yeah. Gay soap.
Gay soap.
Where's Giant? Giant, what's going on?
Go away, coach.
What's wrong? You know what? Pre-game nerves. Totally normal. Pre-game nerves. Everybody gets that. Hey, come on, come on. Oh, hey. Whoa. What is it? Hey, talk to me.
I went off my hormones. I went off my hormones so I could perform better for you and for the boys. And now I don't feel like myself. I feel ugly and everyone knows it. And I feel crazy. And I can't do this, coach. I can't.
Hey. Look at me. Keep your head up. Keep your head up. Come on. Keep your head up. Be proud. You inspire those players in there. I can't inspire them. I need your help. They're not gonna follow me. But they will follow you. Will you do me a favor and lead them out onto the pitch? Yeah. Come on, I'll begin. Let's get you ready. Okay. Right. Let's fix your hair here. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah,
kinda nice.
that looks terrible.
It's the way I used to do my daughter's hair. She liked it.
She's probably lying to you.
Very possible. You okay?
Okay.
I'll see you out there. Shut up! Sit down! What the hell is going on out there? What about all the training? This bullshit. I would have killed to play international soccer. But you losers don't seem to give two shits. You're losers!
Sorry, coach. I'm just not feeling it.
Sorry, coach. I'm just not feeling it.
What does that mean, not feeling it? Nothing!
It does mean something, Thomas. Feeling is very important to us.
It's not that we've forgotten what you have taught us. It's just that we've taken too much to heart. It's too tense. We keep thinking we might win. We've never fought like that before.
Well, don't worry, because that's not gonna happen the way you're playing. Trust me.
Overthink kari boss. Kelo makoi mako kerika alo fapea. Lei masiso mako mfainga mako ki manga oe. Roki limo predator le.
Simpson says the guys are really stressed out, and stress is a silent killer. It's like when the predator...
Really?
Yeah.
Great. Perfect. I give up. Sick of this shit. Good luck.
Mr. Rongan! Mr. Rongan!
What? What do you want from me, Tavita? Look, I like you, but I'm done. I gotta get off this island, and you're not gonna change my mind with any stories of marinated fish.
I'm not here to talk about marinated fish, but I want you to be happy.
I'm not happy. I'm not a happy person. And I hate to break it to you, but you're not gonna get your one goal.
That's all right. I'm kind of used to that by now, Mr. Rongan.
It's not my fault, man. I tried.
I know.
They don't listen to me.
I know.
It's over. They're shutting you down.
Oh, that I did not know. That'll be why Mr. Alex is here. Oh, well. On the bright side, I got to go on a tropical island getaway, take in the sights with my friend Thomas.
What is it with you? Why are you always so positive? It's sickening. You should coach them. They believe in you.
They believe in you, but you have to show them who you are. They don't know you. You don't talk to them. Ever since you got to our island, you've been somewhere else. Even now, you're somewhere else. Maybe it's in the past because you thought you were happier then. But I think you could be happy here now. But you actually have to be here now.
I can't win.
Then lose. But don't lose alone. Lose with us. And there's always the second half. That's another chance.
Get rid of it. This is all nonsense. Okay. Shouldn't have called you losers. It's not true. You're not. I'm the loser. So, 2 years ago, I lost my daughter in a car accident. Her name was Nicole. And that's her hat. She was the greatest, you know. She was bright and funny, and she loved soccer. She loved it. We used to sit up and talk about the game most nights. And then one day she was on her way to practice and she lost control and crashed. That was it. She was gone. I lost my baby. Sorry. Okay. I guess I got pretty angry at the world, but mainly I was angry with myself. Maybe if I took her to practice, she'd still be here. Maybe if I was there for a bit more. A lot of maybes. Why'd I take this job? For the challenge? No. I couldn't give two shits about turning this team around. I was forced to take it. It was the only job I could get. And I didn't want it, guys. You know, I thought I was better than you. The fact of the matter is, you don't need me at all. You're already perfect. So basically, my advice to you would be, don't listen to me. Go out there and do what you do, or don't do it. Whatever, you know? You've reminded me that I've always loved playing more than winning. So enjoy this match. I mean, life's short. Football's a game. I just want you all to be happy.
We want to win, Coach.
Then be happy.
Hey everyone, before we get into the show, please check out our collaborator, Bubs Naturals. They sell a variety of health and wellness products, including collagen peptides, MCT oil powder, coffee, apple cider vinegar gummies, and other amazing products. Go to bubsnaturals.com and use our code DSP20 to get 20% off your entire order. And with that, let's get into the show. And we back again.
We're back and we're live. Just live is a mind control of Captain Raven's gas. So bro.
You want to get let's before we get into the show. Do you want to just get into this right now,
We
just
got
so
to.
that they could get some context to what you're saying?
So this is, I actually quite love the company, and that's why we use them as affiliates. That's why we promote their stuff. I think it's awesome.
Yes.
The bath bombs, all of it. And so my father, the Gen X, one of them motherfuckers. Gen Z, no, they're not Gen Z. They're some old motherfuckers. The greatest generation. I don't know. They motherfucker convict music.
Oh, God. Hey, God.
Hey, and so he was talking about the company, right? And then we were talking about the new commercials and how BetterHelp, FYI, is, I guess, a fucking surprise for everyone. I work for BetterHelp. I think it's a wonderful company. I know a lot of people got mixed feelings about it, maybe, but they are now going to be with us, and we're going to be affiliates and kind of promoting that because I believe in therapy, and I believe in access, and Logic's promoting it, and Giannis is tons of people promoting it. But besides the point, we were talking about new commercials, and my dad was like, "Yeah, you got to get some other ones other than that gay ass soap." And I was like, "Dude, chill." And he's like, "Who's buying that soap, man?" I said, "A lot of people like soap. It's just a company that happens to be queer owned." And so we were having some conversations, and he's joking, and he said, "I ain't buying that shit. You using it, turn you gay." He said, "That's the shit they gave us in prison." And,
Oh my God.
and I said,
that must have been so delightful.
Well, I said, if you prison gay ain't actually gay.
Goodbye, Jobs.
Goodbye, Jobs.
This is the clip that does it.
This is the clip that does it. I was cracking up today. Pops was cracking up. He's a little bigoted, but it's fine.
It's just a little. It's fine. We'll have our thing.
Yeah, and I was like, it's a lovely company, man. We're still doing it. And he's like, "All right."
Yeah.
And I said, what's funny is you've been watching with that soap for the last month. He said, "I knew it." Yeah. I said, "You wonder why your wrists don't work no more?"
Oh my God. What have I been doing at night? You know.
Yep. All right. So let's, I'm sorry, everyone. We're going to do a hard pivot.
Hey, you know what? Coming out party. Pops is gay. All right. Let's move on.
Damn soap.
It's a soap. Okay. All right. So, this movie, Next Goal Wins.
Let's go.
Yes. If you just see a bunch of Nazis playing soccer, that's pretty much the movie.
It's the sexiest shit you'll ever see. You ain't never seen that much hairy,
no
big
neck,
man.
brown.
That's some sexy ass man.
Hey, you know what? There's a reason why most of them are football players.
I'm telling you, they all look like, if there was a real life Ted, that would be them on the soccer field.
Oh my God.
That's a live action Ted soccer game.
Like, which is always interesting. I'm like, damn, so these are the guys that just didn't want to play football or just couldn't make it. Like, that's great. And they're all great athletes.
Yeah.
Every one of them. I mean, even Jai was just like shredded.
Yeah.
Shredded. Like, damn. Okay. Well, got to get back into the gym. And failure. All right. Anyways, so movie's all about a coach that's that gets fired for his anger.
Yep.
And before I actually get into this is a very loosely based story off of an actual true story. And they actually have a documentary that goes by the same title. That came out, and they actually followed them through their journey to actually get into the World Cup and qualify. Yes, great stuff. But this is about a coach who fails and then goes to American Samoa as a last resort in the movie, and turns out to actually be a great thing for him because he learns all these different new things, especially about culture, about trans issues, and a bunch of other things. Especially, I think it was around 2014 when they were doing this. So trans issues obviously have been a thing for a long time, but in the spotlight and everything like that, not as much.
Not in athletics too. That's not. We still ain't cool with it now in athletics. So
true. So, and they actually even have in American Samoa, they have their own word for people who are third gendered or who are non-binary. Um, fa'afin, fa'afin, fa'afin,
Fafina. Fafina.
fa'afin,
Fafina.
fa'afin.
I love falafel.
Excuse, excuse, excuse me that we get the word wrong, but it's actually it's very interesting to see. I would actually love to kind of know the history behind that, just
Yep.
to see if like this has always been a thing for them, or has it kind of been more something recently that they've kind of developed? Obviously, this is 2014 when they were saying it, so and they're very accepting of them, which is also very, very different than what we see in the culture today.
Yeah, you even see the contrast from America Samoa, from like right, Samoa the nation,
True,
and like
true.
the hate, bigotry, trans stuff, and so it's there. The people are much more accepting from what
Mhm,
the film shows. I'm not sure about the documentary and all that, but the way it's portrayed here, I would assume it's legit
mhm.
because they were on the team. It is a true thing.
Yeah,
They are now
yeah,
like a coach, I think, in the Olympics or for like the some type of team. They're like a big time coach now. Jaya.
yeah. I think it's for like FIFA.
Yeah,
I want
FIFA.
to say it's for like FIFA.
Yeah, they're a legit coach now. So like this is it's a wonderful like true thing, and I think it's cool to get the promotion.
Yeah, yeah. And then also in the real documentary, they actually say that the coach never even like and Jaya never really clashed about anything.
Oh,
Like he
good.
was just automatically accepted for Jaya and their journey. So
Okay,
pretty
let's
cool.
go.
Pretty cool. But yeah, so the first scene that we want to break down is actually um right before the big game between Samoa. Um they actually so Jaya has been taking testosterone, or I'm sorry, is it testosterone? No.
No, I would assume they were taking. I don't know why I said T earlier. They were taking probably estrogen, or sorry,
Oh, there we go.
they were taking probably testosterone blockers.
Okay. And so Jaya was taking those, and so to really fully transition,
Yep.
um, and so um, through the whole movie they've been taking them, and now because they're trying to get into the World Cup, she has not been taking them anymore. And so now she's really kind of having that confliction, and her headspace is
Yep.
just not right. And so and she's the leader of the team. She's the one that's going out there, and they're following her.
Yep.
So it's fantastic. Um, with this scene, have you had any like transgender students that you've talked to and things like that? And you know, what do you kind of do once they have these breakdowns, if they've had them at all?
Oh yeah, Jesus. Um. So whoever's watching, you know, we gonna lose you right here probably. And I tell a lot of folks this too.
Mm,
You know, you're super anti-trans or transphobic or homophobic, whatever it is. Then this is probably when you're gonna never watch the pod again,
mhm,
or give a shit about me as a person. But I've worked with a lot of trans students, man. A lot of
mhm,
autistic trans folks. Some folks that are just trans.
mhm,
Written letters to referrals, recommendations for hormone replacement therapy, HRT. It doesn't matter what it is, if it's testosterone blockers, estrogen, whatever it is. Um, and they go see a medical professional for that. And then some of the guidance of that, I make sure that mentally they're like everything, they're healthy, they have informed consent, what they're getting ready to do with their body. And that way, when they go to the doctor, they do their formal assessment too, right? And then as a team, we work with that individual. Not everyone that is on HRT actually needs therapy, but it's usually like, you need a therapist to kind of write the referral for it. That's usually how it goes in America. It's harder and harder to get that these days. If anyone is looking for like actual surgeries, that's extremely hard to get. Sometimes they say you
no,
need to be in therapy for like multiple years, 3 years, right?
mhm,
I've also help folks with that. Um, uh, I've had folks in the beginning stages of their identities and kind of working their way and navigating it. And then we're like, whoa, so this is a thing. We came here for one thing. And it turns out, I can hear everyone, oh, see, You making them gay now. You making them trans now. It's the
You
soap.
gave him that soap.
It's the soap.
You're like, I got some soap for you.
I got some
There you
soap.
go.
It's disinfectant. Disinfectant straightness right out of you. Right out you. And those breakdowns are usually, so trigger warning for a lot of folks that might be trans that are watching this, because this could cause some dysphoria. But it's around a lot of body stuff, Spence. Right? Whether they present too masculine, too feminine, if people are calling them by their dead name, calling them by the wrong pronouns. Maybe they have to hide their identities from the parents, friends. You're trying on certain clothing, maybe that fits, doesn't fit, right? Your hair is not right, facial hair. I mean, there's so many different things. And finding your comfortability in your place in the world, voice related things, right? And how that sounds and ebbs and flows, and retraining. There's a lot of different things that we get into, and a lot of cross comorbidity, correlation with folks right on the spectrum and being trans. That's why we're talking about this. And saying this, and some folks won't agree with this. I think a lot of folks just mess up like gender just in general when it comes to masculinity and femininity. I'm like, hey man, maybe this is a gender thing, but also you can be a straight individual and be super feminine, and you can be a queer individual and be super feminine or masculine. Like these roles get really conflated, and it's really hard for people to figure out what is going on. I agree with folks that are like, yep, I'm trans 100%, and I'm with you. But sometimes it's just a lot of exploration. And a lot of therapists and clients are kind of scared to do it. Some folks don't take their time. A lot of folks take way too much damn time. It's a very complicated thing to therapize, to work with, to support, to affirm. And for me as a counselor, as an affirming counselor, therapist, to see him do his thing in there as a coach, like, was that real? Was that conversation real? I'm not sure. But in the movie, to affirm them and be like, hey, besides the gender stuff, they look up to you. It don't fucking matter who you are, what your genitals are. These motherfucking men getting ready to follow you into war.
Yeah.
So, I know what you did, and like your hormones are freaking out, and you're super emotional. You feel like shit about your body, your personality. People are saying things to you, right? Your team got your back. Team loves you. Let's go. And then he does the thing where he plays with her hair. I mean, that's just funny as shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I also liked it how, even though like right before he does like his freak out in the locker room, Thomas, the coach, he accidentally calls Jaya his daughter's name by accident. Which then he kind of sees her as like a daughter. And stuff like that, which I thought was pretty cool too.
I thought it was pretty cool too. I think as soon as I heard that name, I think it was Nicole.
Yeah.
I was like, what was that? Emotions.
Who is this?
It's a lot of humans are so complicated, Spence. We got so much shit, man. And everyone just puts on this show. I posted this thing on Threads. I'm posting a lot now on Threads, folks, because, I'm using voice to text. And it's got a lot of grammar and spell checks on my new phone. Samsung S24 Ultra. Shout out.
Shout out to Samsung.
Shout out to Samsung.
Give us new phones.
Yeah, shout out. Making illiterate people look smart. Hey. And I was posting, like, you see all these therapists that are like dog tired, underpaid, like depressed as shit. And like, but no one talks about that on the internet. No one says that the therapists, they just put on this smile, this face, this facade. Therapists be going through it, bro. And right, you get a lot of trans folks, there's gonna be a lot of shit, a lot of trauma, man, and it's tough. Coaches that go through a lot of stuff, teachers go through a lot of stuff. I think it's kind of good to maybe say more that, that people are going through stuff. People are complex, Spence. But social media perverts a lot of things. And you know this. We talked about it, LinkedIn, kind of toxic. Everyone's talking about jobs and all this. I mean, rightfully so. I'm happy for them.
Right.
But a lot of us, we suck in that stuff, man. It's tough. But it's always that face and that presentation of like perfection. The coach is deeply flawed. His players are deeply flawed. And within that, you find this wonderful, magnificent nugget of empathy this nugget of love for humanity. Doesn't matter what gender, doesn't matter what color, doesn't matter what religion, doesn't matter what nationality you are, that we're all just people. And this person, Jaya, is the leader. And he's like, hey, they're going to follow you. I wish I had coaches like that. And I did have some. But man, if I could have them all the time, Jesus. Shout out to Coach Coop. 9th grade freshman year and 10th grade freshman year coach out in Lansing Sexton, out in the hood. That turned a lot of us boys into men and supported us, validated us, had our back, got suspended because of some shit. And then we got him back. And I remember I almost fought a coach because he was shit talking him on the field.
Right.
We won this big game, whatever. So I love the dude. Everyone loved the dude. Shout out Coach Coop. So can you imagine, Spence, having someone have it back like this? You know, people ain't even cool with this shit now, right? I'm scared to talk about this shit now. It's 2014, 2011. They're on the team. The white savior, Jesus, comes, right? And you're like, you this motherfucker. Yeah. The Halo music's playing. I don't know how it goes. This the Halo music. Jesus is among us.
Master Chief is Jesus.
Master Chief is Jesus. Why is there a hat passing around? I ain't put no money in that shit.
I didn't think he'd be that tall. All right.
Yeah. Put your hand on my pocket.
Throwing sticky grenades. That's Jesus.
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 Sticky grenades just gay soap. Got him. So we didn't actually plan to do that scene, and then me and Spence talked about it, and we're like, hey, this is really good. Some representation. I think it'd be cool for other folks to see in sports. Acceptance, love, empathy, pushing people to be leaders, affirming them. You know, everyone can do this. This shit ain't complicated. You don't need to be a therapist to do that. Me and Spence can do that just walking outside and calling someone by the correct pronouns. We've done that on our podcast. I don't want to seem like we're super awesome people because we just did the bare minimum. That's not what I'm shooting for.
Yeah.
I'm shooting for.
We do enough to where, we can get by and stuff like that. Now, let's be honest. We're not out in the streets doing, all this other
Correct.
stuff.
We're doing the bare minimum.
You know what? Yeah, we try our best, and sometimes we fail at that.
We do.
It happens. We're humans,
and we hold ourselves accountable, right? When we fucked up names, pronouns, titles. But to have respect for certain things is a magnificent thing. So I thought it was a good clip to throw in there. Spence agreed. We ran with it. Love that it was a true story because I didn't think it was. I'm like, oh man, this is some of that old DI shit, man. They trying to wokeify us and shit. You know what I'm saying?
I actually really like this movie because it didn't feel like they were actually forcing anything down your throat and just being like, pause.
Hey,
it just it felt like they were actually going pace wise very well, and everything seemed to be gradually going towards the climax of the movie and stuff like that. So I liked how he did it in the way of just being able to kind of walk through it instead of just trying to bulldoze through everything.
Right. I'll end with this.
Yes.
Spence kind of talked about like this climax, this slow prestige up, this Pokemon evolution. Hey,
Charizard.
I'm telling you. And I'm talking about not as a trans individual, but as a therapist. There's this evolution. I did not know a damn thing about really the gay community, queer community. I got into this business to help folks of color and athletes, black and brown. We being real specific, poor Arab. Or sorry, I'm Arab. Poor Mexican, poor black folks. I don't need no Arabs are fine. They don't need nothing. Well, they do now. I'm not being political right now. I'm trying to be funny.
Switch sides.
I'm switching sides. Switching. Damn soap. And I started working, and a lot of my clients were queer identified. And I'm never going to do bad at my job. I'm never going to make someone suffer because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, because I didn't understand the perspective. So I would go home and read and read and read. And I would read all these books and research articles. And I would talk to my bosses, which were also queer. And I'm like, okay, I need to know what's going on because I'm going to do my job. And then I come to Purdue, and there's a lot of queer identified individuals, a lot of trans individuals, a lot of autistic individuals. And then I'm very competent in things now. I'm not the best. I wouldn't say I'm a specialist, but holy shit, I know a lot. And I remember one of my coworkers was like, "Hey man, you're a specialist. I'm going to send you to them." And they were like, "Read your notes. Looks like you're doing really good with them. Looks like they really enjoy you as a person, as a counselor. Let's actually have you stick with them, and I'm just going to coach you up." I was like, "Okay." I already told them I was going to send them to you, the nice white lady. So they're like, "Nope, they're going to stay with you." I was like, "All right." So I'll go back to my client. The white lady didn't want you.
She wouldn't even open the door for you.
She homophobic. She homophobic.
Phoebe.
What movie was that from? Homophobic.
That was Chuck and Larry.
There you go. And it's just amazing on how much you can learn if you want to learn, how much you can heal if you want to heal others. So to the counselors, if you're not a specialist in it, if you don't know a lot in it, you got clients that are all over on the spectrum when it comes to gender, sexuality. You need to be looking into this stuff. A lot of y'all say you are you? All right. You cool to pivot?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's get into soft, kind-hearted brown men and how they save the world one fish appetizer at a time.
We're going to that scene? I thought we were going to the
No,
where
we're not going to that
Coach,
scene, but but he still talks about food all the time, right? There's a white guy, Fassbender, he's like, "Don't fucking bring up your food again, goddammit."
Don't you do it. All right. You're coconut fish. So in this scene, the coach is tearing into his players. Let's just say he has some anger issues in this movie.
A typical
just
white
a
man.
little bit, just angry, throwing shit. White man
angry at the brown people, right? This is a movie about a white man angry at brown people.
God, couldn't you be white? So
I said every day.
It's getting there. So pretty much calls them all losers.
Yeah,
because they're not doing what he says and what they practiced. And then they explain to him, "Hey, we are just not feeling it. They're just very nervous. They're not themselves. They're playing very constricted. They're put in a box." And I think we've all kind of had that before, where like we're amazing raw talent, and then all of a sudden they try to put you in that box. They did it to Bernard King. They did. That's right. Iceman. Black Fist time. And so and then he leaves and he's like, "I'm done." This is like his second time quitting on the team.
yes.
Yeah. And of course the manager comes back out, Mr. Tavita, comes back out and just tells him like, "Hey, you know what? If you're gonna lose, at least lose with us. Don't just, keep running from your past and keep on living in the past." He's living and running at the same time. I don't know how he's doing it. He's just constantly running into the past. He's like the Flash, just keeps on going backwards.
Teleportation,
time travel.
Yep.
Marty McFly. Yeah. And then he comes back and then he tells a story about how his daughter died in a car accident. Came out of nowhere. I'm gonna be honest with you. Came out of nowhere. I was like, "Oh wow." She's calling and asking where he is. I'm like, "Wow, phone service really sucks in American Samoa."
Yeah.
Like, what? Where can you get some cell service? No. Okay.
It's like, oh, she did.
Yeah. So throughout the movie, he's listening to these voicemails Because you think like, oh, he just missed her call because he's so busy and the phone service sucks there. Nope, turns out that she left all these messages and she died. Like in the movie, they say she died like relatively recently.
Yeah.
Um, and that's why he wears her ball cap.
BCU.
Yeah, I mean, what are some topics that would you really want to break down into this in these two scenes, Naz?
Actually, I'm gonna backtrack real quick. So we just did a
Okay.
podcast called Blank Man with Dr. Funnies, the meme queen,
Yes.
and there was a sad scene, well, funny, but where they go to the funeral.
Yes.
The grandma was just murdered at a voting booth, poll place. And so I told Dr.
Okay,
Funny,
can you before you do that, before you say that, can you explain why it was funny? Because you're like,
you
yeah,
know,
their grandma got murdered
yeah,
and they're
murder.
at the funeral. Why was
Yeah.
it funny?
You know, they're funny.
It's because the
Because,
main character, Blank Man,
yep,
was just hysterically crying, but in a funny way.
yep,
And he had snot running down his mouth, and he kept on like eating it, and like,
yep. It's
and then his
intense.
brother tried to give him like a dab of his nose, and then
He gives it back to him. It's a whole clip. You can look at it on Instagram. You can go back to the scene, check it out.
go check out the Blank Man episode.
Wonderful episode. And so that was a tough scene because it reminded me of when my mother passed. So that in the reel, I actually talked about that. I said, I sent it to Dr. Funnies too. And I said, it was tough, man, watching that. It was funny at first, but it was tough because I remember going to my mom's funeral. I showed it to my dad today too. And he's like, well, this is fucking depressing. You know, we were just sitting there, and then you see your mother sitting there, and I'm like chill and reserved because I'm kind of dissociated, and then Celine just starts wailing.
Mm-hmm.
That was like traumatic. Like, you don't forget a scream like that. That was one of those Godfather screams, Booby Miles screams, bro. That was
Right.
That was pretty fucked up. So it was intense, and so watching the one brother be stoic and chill and like caring and repressing, and then watching the other just completely fall apart is tough. So it makes me think about the death here, and you just never really know on how death will mess you up. Doesn't matter if it's his daughter, stepdaughter, or if it's someone that you're taking care of or connected to that you love. Like, it's going to be tough. I've got clients that lose people all the time. You know, there's been some people that have died recently. There's a lot of people that die in college campuses all the time, but there's been some people that have died recently right on the campus, which is like extremely sad. And people are grieving. People are in shock. People are in disbelief. And just working with that population of folks that lose close ones, friends, people are still dying of COVID. People don't even think it's real. People still dying of COVID. And you just never know. You're going to be angry, sad, scared. You're going to be resentful, guilty. You're going to hate God. You're going to, don't believe in that. Then you hate the world. You're going to wonder, maybe you don't feel much, but then you feel bad because you lived. And so you don't really know what he's going through as a parent. But supposedly in the movie, it's led him to drinking and anger and volatile and like blowing up and not being able to be in the moment. And so you get this loving general manager, owner, bar owner, right? TV show producer. Everyone does everything on the island because you don't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing, there's a couple of big things. That was the best part. He says, you're here, but you're not here. You've never been here. I don't have to repeat everything because all of you saw it. But he said, you're always in the past. And he said, I need you to be here. I need you to be, you're always somewhere else. You're not, even now in the game, you're somewhere else. You're thinking about the losses and embarrassment. You're thinking about, your soon-to-be ex-wife, your daughter, right? You're saying Nicole. It's not even Nicole, it's Jaya. I think so many of us, Spencer, are just never in the now. And that's the biggest thing that fucks us all up. People that are super anxious, people that are OCD, people that are traumatized. We're either in the anxious or we're either in the past or in the future. And you'd be surprised. We're doing both fucking things at the same time most of the time, and super obsessive. Then compulsive, and you try to control, and you can't control for anything. As my clients were talking about this week, a lot of us have that internal control and locus where we think that we can handle everything, and then the external one the world will just happen. It's an existential thought thing. And you can't control for everything. Shit just happens. So you get this coach that's now trying to like build his career, and this dude comes and tells him, he says the coach, his team sucks. We're going to lose. We're not going to get that goal. He said, who cares? Who cares? I'm used to losing. It's fine. And he's like, why are you so positive? So now this is where people will talk about maybe toxic positivity. Because he's like, maybe he's too positive, but I actually think it's just awesome. I think he's just a happy dude.
Yeah.
I don't think he's being repressive and being like the Abbott Elementary episode that we did about toxic positivity, or the positive little girl in that Inside Out movie.
I think it's also that he sees negativity and he acknowledges it. It's just that, he's trying to be upbeat about those negative things, where as those other examples, they're mainly just like ignoring all the like negative things that are happening.
I think you're right. I think it's ignoring, and also he's really good at acknowledging it, but then also reframing it to where he doesn't suffer.
Yeah.
This is that whole kind of Yoda thing and Anakin thing, right? This anger, this hostility, right? This all leads to suffering. Spence, go ahead and give us a Yoda suffering.
I can't do a Yoda. Can't do it.
Oh, you can't do Yoda?
Yeah. Suffering. I don't know.
That was good.
Sound like Kermit. Why don't you come back from where you came?
Jesus. That sounded racist.
Family Guy.
Oh, that sounded racist as shit.
Yeah. Go watch that Family Guy clip.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Jesus
Black
Christ.
guy's rowing in a boat. He's just like, hey, can you point me to where the town is? He's just like, it's back where you came.
Oh my God. Anyway.
Kermit.
So suffering, I think he doesn't sit in it and dwell in it. And he just has a good time. Because like, what the fuck's the point of being sad and being the victim?
Mm-hmm.
And so he tells him, hey man, we're going to lose. Yep. He said, lose with us. As a team, it's together. You could be so happy with us. And I think a lot of people fuck that up, man. They could be so happy like now in the moment. Like, Spencer, right? You're in a wonderful relationship, awesome human, right? But there's a lot of people that would probably take that for granted and like not really enjoy any of it, and always worried about the future and what's going to happen, and breakups or small conversations that go awry. They'll worry about their health. They're just never there. Their job, maybe they're going to move somewhere else. It just can get so convoluted. And then they'll think about the past and the people that have hurt them. People have done things, their family issues. But can't we be in the moment? Well, they're going to move away in a couple months because they're going to graduate. But you're going to have some really good moments.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Watchmen episode that we did. We said, hey, we're going to have 10 good years. But I'm going to die a tragic death. And you're going to be devastated. You down for this? And she goes, yep. 10 years, couple kids, happy as pigs and shit.
She wasn't really okay with it.
Hey, she signed up for it. That means you're okay with it.
Look, she signed up for it, but then she was still trying to prevent it. I'm just like, you know what's about to happen.
I actually thought she was going to get away with it and like save his life. And then he got destroyed, and I was devastated, bro. Bro, that was
that ray.
That was hard.
Yeah.
That was hard. But mindfulness, it's really hard for people to be mindful, brother. And if the biggest thing about this pod, other than what we talked about in the beginning, is mindfulness. Can you ground yourself in the now? I texted Spence earlier today. Story time. No, Spence, what did I text you today? What was I texting you when I came back from the gym?
Text me a lot of things, but one of the things was so that you hurt your pec. You hurt it, lifting too much weight.
Hurt my tit.
Too much. Yep, broke it. It's gone. And you're just like, I'm depressed. And then I go on Fortnite, I suck. And then you're just down on yourself, and then you're like, I'm just kidding. Like, you really had to put that, because I was like, Jesus Christ. Dude's about to fucking just lose it over Fortnite.
I was about to crash my car. I'm like, fuck this shit.
So yeah, you were in a state.
I was in a state, brother. I was like, Everything sucks. I'm dumb. I'm ugly. I'm full ridiculous. My podcast sucks. No one loves me. Fucking.
Which I was like, oh, okay. Why'd bring me into this?
I didn't bring you into it. You know, I'm
He
just,
did. My podcast sucks.
it sucks. We suck. We suck at video games. You're the bane of my existence right now.
Whoops.
And I was like, I need to just go home, eat, and just chill the fuck out. I need to take a breather. I need to be mindful of where I'm at, what I'm doing, and that none of this really means anything, and life is actually extremely well and good. And I came home and everything was good, right? We ate some filet mignons, some fucking $40 a pound steaks that we got for $11.99. Got
$40 pound steaks.
$40 a pound.
It's like, what is that? Is it 40 pounds or $40? Which one is it? It's a big ass steak.
$40. Hey, right. That don't make no sense.
T-Rex steak.
It's T-Rex steak. That's what we call American Samoa steak.
Oh my God.
I do see my lip. It does come out.
You stop pulling it out, man.
Jesus
You're
Christ.
gonna hit that tripwire.
And so, right, you just ground yourself back in the moment. And then, right, I did a bunch of stuff. You did a bunch of stuff. It was actually a wonderful day, other than, me getting injured at the gym, which kind of sucked. I haven't been injured like that and pulled my pec since maybe like 2012. So it's been a long time.
Chill out on the weights.
Oh man, it was such a good, and I knew
you're getting old, motherfucker.
I knew to stop it. I knew to stop at 5 reps. I was like, oh, I'll do one more rip. Oh. Whatever. So depressing.
Yes. Anyways,
mindfulness is getting back to the now, right, and not getting into the old. Not thinking I'm old. Not thinking all these horrific negative thoughts. So as Spence knows, right? Everyone knows, not Spence. Everyone. Negative thoughts surround us all day, every day.
Just me.
Just you. They just surround us, man.
They do.
And I think it's interesting where he's like, man, lose with us, be happy. And that scene made me cry. His voice, his personality made me cry because I think I've been there. I would rather lose with people I love than win with people I fucking hate and that make me miserable.
Or by yourself.
Or by yourself. Yeah. Yeah, or instead of just winning by yourself where you're just like dead inside and horrific. Are you really losing if you still feel okay? You're still going to get to the pinnacle of what you want to go, right? You're just going to take some losses, but you're not going to die inside. I feel like school for a lot of people, life for a lot of people, it feels like death. I have to negotiate with so many students, Spence. It's a weird thing being a therapist, and we're probably going to wrap up soon. When people tell you, trigger warning, we're going to talk about suicide. People tell you, these counselors, they tell us things, and they tell me certain things that they don't tell other therapists. I'm like, why me? Did you cry with the other therapists like this? They said no. So maybe they weren't ready. They said no, it was the person. And people will tell me the things that they've done in the past and how they're broken and how they've done this and how they're afraid they're going to do it again. And it's just an honor and a privilege to hear people's stories, to know that they can unburden themselves with you. It's heavy on me, but I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about them. When they tell you, right, they've done something, they've attempted on their life, and now they think that, they're fucked up. And who would want me? Who would want me? Why would I burden my partner or my family with this, right? They don't know what they signed up for. They didn't sign up for this. And then you got to kind of affirm those feelings, but also tell them that they're irrational. And then let them know that, you have to affirm even the sad parts of yourself, the suicidal, the angry parts, the homicidal parts. You don't have to shit on everything. They said, well, I accept all these things. They said, you didn't accept the sad one. Well, the suicidal one that actually needs tender love and care. I'm not saying you affirm them to where you're like, you're doing a good job. Let's do this. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there's a difference between being mindful and soothing to all of your identities and just allowing one to be ignored, and then it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Sometimes we need to work through those emotions, thoughts, and feelings, unlike the coach does in this film. And then homeboy's like, hey man, I need you to do this with us. We're going to go through some shit together.
Mhm.
All of your identities. Let them know who you are. And so he lets them know who they are, Spence, and it's fucking nuts and it's super sad and they see his pain and it makes them feel good and loved and then they sing together and they're happy and just the culture. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Happy as pigs and shit. I'm also crying at the same time, you fuckers.
Might not be able to go to American Samoa because then you'll never want to leave.
I ain't gonna lie.
My
Well,
people.
in my people. We talked about it with Dr. Funnies and a bunch of other therapists to be authentic, to be real, to be genuine, to share maybe a lived experience here and there. I put this on Threads the other day. Someone said, "What's the biggest thing that they didn't teach you in graduate school, Spence?" And I said, they should have taught, or they didn't teach us. You don't have to center your entire therapeutic practice around whiteness.
Mm.
And I know that sounds super woke, but like it's super true, man. It's like you don't have to center everything around whiteness, dude. And I think me and Dr. Funny's connected so much, and you and Dr. Funny's connected so much because we're not doing that. This fake professionalism, we're being real humans that heal other humans. That's what everyone on the island did. And they healed, what was his name? Runda?
Yeah. Rognan. Rongan?
Rongden.
Rongan. G.
Yeah.
With the G.
And they heal him.
Yes.
And he finds a place where he's welcomed. And then he leaves technically, because he takes a hiatus before he goes back to coaching.
Yeah.
And it was just a wonderful conversation at the end of the movie where they were like sad that he's going, but also gassing him up in a masculine way without getting super personal. No one's making eye contact. It was my type of love story at the end. This was my type of love story through and through. A lot of humor, a lot of sadness, a lot of trauma, a lot of positivity, just a lot of love. A lot of people being real and forcing this other person to be real, and then they get healed. It's amazing. When you find people that you can be real with, like me and Spencer, like me and Colin, Spencer and his partner, right? You heal. And all of you out there, suicidal, autistic, OCD, schizophrenic, schizoaffective, borderline personality disorder. Some of you just stupid like me. Yeah.
You're just dumb.
You're just dumb. I said the other day, I said, Moses, he intellectually pretty smart. But personality, he dumb. I said, Colin, intellectually dumb, personality, wonderful.
You just have a mixture, a gambit of friends, don't you? You merge them together, they're just still stupid. Still stupid.
You merge them together and you get one big ass, gay ass soap bomb, bath bomb.
Shout out to Cat and Raven Soap Company.
All the colors.
This whole episode.
All the colors.
Yes.
All the genitals. Jesus Christ. Well, so much.
Go watch our disclosure in the beginning of the video if you don't know.
Correct. We're funny here, don't get me offended, whatever. Spence, you can put some sauce on this while I look at the board real quick. You can talk about whatever you want.
Okay.
As an end.
Just do that. Let me just randomly talk about some shit.
About the movie and your thoughts on the last three scenes or scene itself.
I think it's great when you have a coach because usually once it's a coach, they bring culture to the team.
Yep.
But sometimes you have to blend two cultures together, especially if they're so different from one another. Because they learned a lot from him and he learned a lot from them. And so I think it's always good to make sure that you have just an open mind when you're into new situations. Because if he just was a closed-off mind the whole time, then he wouldn't have gotten anywhere, and then they would have been in the same position that they've always been in. So,
Jesus, well said. You got to have an open mind and an open heart in almost everything that you do. You have to. Otherwise, you just keep repeating the same errors and errors, and you never learn, you never grow. Your heart won't be hurt, and your mind will stay stagnant. But you'll never grow. You'll never experience even more joys, more friends, more connections. You're right. I love in all these wonderful stories that make all of us like really happy and like joyous and cry. It's always when people get a healing, man. A therapist too. We heal from our clients. I heal when I see them smile. I heal when I see them laugh. I heal when I see them cry. It's a wonderful privilege to be in the position I'm in. It's a wonderful privilege for me and you to be doing the pod. Man, some people will shit on us here and there, Spence, right? And, we've talked about it. And, it fucks me up when they do that. And then I sent you that text to my homeboy that said, I fucking love your guys' podcast.
Yeah.
Black therapist, right? Wonderful individual that I knew from high school come out, Lansing Sexton, shout out, fucking hood of Lansing in Michigan. It's just wonderful to know that we get affirmed in a lot of places. We do a lot of good work. At the end of the day, we make people laugh. And that's what I want to do. I want to make people laugh. And we're going to say some shit here and there that's like out of pocket. It's all in good faith. We're not trying to be derogatory. We're doing our best as humans to provide a service, but also laughter. Yeah. And I'll end with that. Laughter.
Yeah. And I think along with that, just to end this, once we get stuck into like thinking about what we have to say all the time, for me at least, it comes out very choppy. And it's just blocks what anything else that I want to say. And I'm just quiet. And
it's the box that you talked about from earlier. It's the same thing. It's the box.
Yeah. And I'm just kind of tired of being in that box, honestly. And I understand I have other opportunities to get to and stuff like that. But they've seen this show.
Yeah.
It is what it is. If they don't like it, then oh well.
Yeah. I'm not closeted anymore after the soap.
I'm out.
What was that movie? Surprise! Here's Johnny. Oh my God, Spence, shut the fuck.
You shut the fuck.
I knew exactly as soon as I did that. You're like, hey.
What are you coming out of?
A little soap in there?
It's a big one. Anyways, thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Like I said before, please go watch Next Goal Wins. Great film. Funny. And also has some deep moments as well. So go check them out. And then also, please go to our link tree down below in the description to get your discount off of the great Cat and Raven soap company.
Yep.
They actually have some really good soaps, and some of them, they look a little bit too tasty. So
yeah,
don't put them around children or hungry people.
Yeah. Fat people. I can say that because I'm fat.
What's like the limit? All right, never mind. All right, here we go. So thank you everybody for watching. I'm Spencer. That's Nas.
All right,
Different
everyone.
Spectrum Podcast.
Yep.
Shut the
I'm
fuck
sorry.
up. Let me say the show. God damn it. Different Spectrum Podcast. Go.
I'm sorry. I was just thinking about all these beautiful big brown men and they just got lost in it.
Oh,
They're so
God.
gorgeous. All right, my glasses are steaming up. All right, let me go get a rub down in the bath. All right, much love, everyone. Take care. Take care of yourselves.
Or don't.
It's completely up to you. Bye.